Hello there, this is Kathy Crow here at the Crow Cottage. Thank you again for joining me, and happy President's Day today. I didn't even realize that it was a holiday today because my days are so off. As in, I don't, have to keep a real schedule too much. So it's just like sweet. And today is a beautiful day. Outside today, can you see how lovely it is out there? You probably can't because of the glare of the window, but it's 60 something degrees here in Springfield, Missouri, and I love it. Jeff and I went out and had coffee this morning, and oh, wow. Then we came and sat back on the deck, and he's not working, obviously, today because it's a holiday. He's a substitute teacher because he's retired. Anyway, oh, hey, Trudy. I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for watching, and appreciate it. You always remember to share, and seeing your name reminded me to say it. So thanks again for all that you do for me. I really appreciate it. You guys are such a great team. I really appreciate being able to see all the stuff that you do. So make sure you post things on the team pages that you're on. We're all on different teams, sort of. It's kind of connected. It's nice to see it, see your stuff. So I want to remind everybody that we do not have a lot of days left of SaleABration. It's 1 o'clock here, so we only have like a little chiming to do and it'll be done. I forgot to turn that clock off last night. Usually Jeff and I remember, because where it is here in this room goes right out that door and into the hall where our bedroom is not far away, and it just sort of echoes, and it's really loud at night. But this was the only room I could really put it in because we have another clock like that, and I didn't want them competing. Their chimes never really match, so anyhow, so last night I forgot to turn it off, but I must have slept on my left side last night because I'm pretty deaf in this ear. I didn't hear it. I think I finally heard it chime at about 5:30 this morning. I was like, oh, I can't believe I slept all night with that thing on, but I did, and I'm not getting up now to turn it off. Back to SaleABration. SaleABration is coming to an end, very close, so you do not want to miss it. This is a great time to join. If you're thinking about joining a team, please join my team. We have a lot of fun. We do a lot of fun things. In a couple of weeks, it'll be time for our team meeting again. And we always do something really fun. So I hope you join us. We would love to have you. And if you are already, happily going along with whatever you are doing, just don't miss out on the stuff. There's always new things coming out during SaleABration. They bring out new things. And when SaleABration ends in March, they actually promised us something new. So that's going to be exciting. I'm going to go ahead and put the camera down, and we are going to get started. Today, I am going to do something with our SaleABration stamp set, since I haven't really done that too much. I thought I probably better do it before SaleABration is actually over. Would that be smart? So anyhow, normally I do something, but I actually didn't until just now. I don't think I've done anything other than, making cards. I have made cards, but anyway, I'm trying to get myself going here so I can see your comments, and I think I actually have it going. We'll see. We'll find out. And as we go, I used to be able to put that on the computer and see the screen really nice and large, and now I can't. I don't know. Facebook has just changed things enough that it ends up, they change things so often that I've kind of given up. I've learned just make do with whatever it is, and then because if you don't like it, it's kind of like the weather here in Missouri. If you don't like it, just wait a few minutes and it'll change. Okay, I think we're pretty good here. Here's my code if you want to just order with me for a very small amount. If you do an $80 order or more, I will send you some free embellishments. But I really would encourage you to do the 150 order so that you can get all of your rewards for ordering. But if you're going to do 150, shoot, just do the $99. Join our team, get $175 worth. I'm not kidding. For $99, $100, you get $175 worth of free product right now for just click on the join my team. Get the starter kit. It'll go into your starter kit. You get to pick whatever you want in there. It's a really sweet deal. All right, so in the country, this is one of our SaleABration stamp sets. There's only 2 stamps in it, but they're really cool. They go with a lot of old stamps that we've got. I did a card with one of my favorite old SaleABration ones with a little bike in the door. It went together really well. And I can use this with my Tuscan Vineyard. You remember that one? That was a good one. The French Countryside. Oh, that was a good one too. Anyway, there are just so many. And I am going to use these little hill. This goes great with a whole lot of things. In fact, I just saw this. Somebody had done this. What did they do it with? I forget now. I forget. I'll find it though. I'll find it. Today, I'm going to pair it with our nested friends, just our little bird. I'm actually not going to use, I don't think, the nest or any of that stuff, but this set is really cool. I've got some things ready to go because when I used it, I didn't really have a chance to do everything I wanted with it. So I just cut out some things and then put them in here so that they're ready to go when I get back to this set, because look at that cute little nest. It's so cute. And then the die cut cuts out, that's the stamped one that you stamp, but the die cut cuts out this really wonderful little nest too. It's so cute. So I cut out some little balmy blue robin's eggs to go. And this is actually with the Scenic Garden Host set, this little flower thing. There's a nice little branch. And you get 3 little eggs when you do the eggs, just perfect, because probably 2 or 3 are all you're going to be able to really fit in your nest anyway. So anyhow, that's that. I'm just going to use that stamp set. I'm not going to, man, I must have cut out a few eggs just to make sure, because they get lost. They get lost. All right, today, what I want to do is I am going to, first of all, we are going to just stamp this on some white. Okay, I think I better trim it first, though, because I want to get it into, this is going to be a slim card, and let's see if I want it a standard 4 inches. I think we're going to go, yeah, I think we'll go with a standard 4 by 8 inch one. Okay, so if my card is going to be 4 by 8, which it is, let me get the background. I'm going to put it on some, that's for my other card, I think. Get my card stock out here and make sure. Okay, no, that's the pool parties for the second card. This card is going to be on soft succulent, so we're going to cut it at 4 inches. Now, if you do it at 4 inches, that means you're going to have more than enough for another half of a card there. I'm going to do it 4 inches by 8 inches for a slim card. Okay, so 8 inches. You're not cooperating with me very well. Okay, there we go. 8 inches right there. Okay, so I'll save my little scraps. I take those little scraps and make little labels out of them and put them in my container. Okay, so if we're going to have our mat is 4 by 8, then this, which, you know, normally I might just stamp on it and not worry about it and then cut it out, but just to show you what I'm doing, I better go ahead and cut it first. So since that's a 4 inch one, we want this one to be 3 3/4. I'm going to do it just a hair over that. Okay, 3 3/4. And since it's 8 inches over there, we want it 7 3/4. And I'm going to do it just a hair bigger than that. You know, by making it a little bit bigger too, I can always cut some off. A lot of times I don't really necessarily like what I totally did. And it's nice to be able to cut off just a little bit. All right, so for this stamp set is so fabulous all on its own. But what I want to do is I want to have some kind of, I want it to look rustic. Okay, this is in the country. It's kind of got, to me, this has that, it's either an Italian stucco-y kind of thing, or you could do it as with like that desert detail stamp set, and do it as the more Midwestern kind of stucco-y kind of thing, whatever. But the hills are really for anything. I see some fir trees in there, but not enough, or spruce, not enough to distract. You're not gonna, you could really have these hills in any kind of a geographic location. So this is going to be a nameless place, but I do kind of want it to be kind of rustic, because that's what both of these sort of look like. Since my background is soft succulent, I'm going to just take some soft succulent ink and just sponge a little bit of that all over. Now we do have some new teeny tiny little sponging brushes. We've got our larger ones, and I really like these little guys. I see I didn't do a very good job when I cleaned them, getting it back into its spot. I'm going to use the big one, but the little one is nice too when you don't have as much space to cover. But I'm just going to kind of sponge just a little bit in random. We're not going to get a lot. You're not going to see a lot here. I don't want to have a ton all over here, because I'm going to actually ink this up. And I'm going to just, so that I don't have to do a whole lot of coloring today, we are not going to do a lot of coloring. Let's see, I think I'm going to use our shaded spruce to do the hills and the fence. And because that's a dark enough stamp, I'm going to color it, but not much. I won't need to. And it'll look great. I hope your day is going really well. I think this is going to be a beautiful week this week. Now I thought I inked this stamp set. I think I did. I've been trying to keep my inks a little bit better, because they were kind of drying out on me. There you go. Now doesn't that look great? Just all on its own. You do not have to really do almost anything else. It looks fabulous. My Simply Chamois I used it for like years, and I'm not kidding, without it getting messed up at all. I mean, it was dirty looking, but it was clean. I'd wash it out, and it looked terrible, but it was clean. Well, I accidentally, apparently accidentally, since I didn't know any better, I used like this special mold and mildew spray on it, because I just thought, well, let's see if I can get it even cleaner today. Whenever I did, that was a big mistake. Don't use that on your Simply Chamois, because apparently it took away all of its mold resistance that is in that, to keep it from getting moldy, because it never did before. But as soon as I used that on it, it like instantly started to get smelly moldy, and I had to throw it away. Like within 1 week, it was like, ugh, this is really gross. I can't even wait for my replacement. So now I'm using paper towels. All right, now this one, I am going to stamp on the bottom of this card with our Tuxedo Black. And then we will color it in. Okay, I'm going to go down here so that my stairs are kind of like right down here, because I do not want, I kind of want this to look like it's going off of the card. I don't necessarily want it to just be hanging there. And by using that black, I can color in anything I want. I could color it pretty dark if I wanted to, or I could do it really light. I've seen some really nice watercolors on this stamp set. I really like it when they do these SaleABration ones with the detailed line drawings. I love those. They're so pretty. Now, I know you're thinking, oh man, that's kind of messy and weird looking. Why is she just hang in here with me, okay? It will be fine. You will see. It will all turn out beautifully. So let's take our top bit, and I'm going to use something really light. I think I'll just use my soft sea foam. We don't need a lot of color here. I just kind of want it to be a little more green. And I'm gonna just do the clumps. Okay, and the trees. Okay, that's all I'm doing with that. That one's pretty light. I think that was the dark one. Yeah, it was. We need a little more than that. That's just a tiny bit too light. So let's grab some old olive. There's my old olive. I'm gonna grab also a light granny apple green. And with a bullet tip this time, I'm just gonna go in here on those actual lines of the grass. Okay, so that you can see, I'm putting it down pretty low. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. My camera looks like it's got something on my lens. I think I probably need to clean my lens because it looks to me like it's sort of, I don't know. All right, let's get the light one. Now this is light old olive, but I got to be careful because it's still kind of strong. In fact, I'm going to use my bullet too because it's not really cooperating with me very well there. If you get a little more color in it than you want, and then just use your okay, why are you frozen? Are you frozen? I can't tell whether you are or not. Mine on my other one is seemingly frozen. I wonder if my internet's acting up because it looks like it is. Internet. You know, this is a major problem here. Jeff and I are both probably trying to use too much bandwidth right now. When he's home, this is a problem. Ah, there I am on. Okay, good. Oh, good. Trudy, you like this stamp set? I'm sorry. Trudy, can you write on there, was I frozen? Because I thought I was frozen, and I don't know if it was my phone acting up that I'm trying to watch to see if anyone comments, or if it was this phone or what. All right, so I didn't do green all over. If you want more color, you can. I just would be careful not to add. Let's do the light. Do your light sea foam. I wouldn't add it up by the tree line at all. And you're not going to want a lot. You really just don't need it. Now down here, I want to keep the same color theme going. So I think I'm going to just stay with my dark sea foam because I don't need a lot. But if as you can see, if you don't do something fairly strong, you can't. With that black ink, you really can't see it at all. But I don't want this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my, you could use soft suede. I'm going to bring in my old Call Me Clover. This is the light, or no, this is just jade. I'm sorry, the old just jade. And I'm going to use it. It's the same hue, but it's just a little darker. Okay, now I'm going to come down again. Hopefully nothing happens here with my camera. Trudy, if you're there with me, can you please tell if you know, because you might not have been paying attention, but do you know if I froze there for a minute? Because I kind of need to know that when I go to download this video, if it is intact or if it's in pieces. When my video is in pieces, it does not download well. Okay. So just putting a little bit of green in there. See, it just did it again, and I don't know if it's my phone acting up or if it's my camera. I cannot tell. Oh, you're not, I'm not frozen. Thank you for telling me. Okay, so it's probably my old phone. It's just, for some reason, oh, I know what the reason is. My bandwidth. I would rather it was acting up on the other phone than on this one. All right, so we've got that. Now decide what you want for your color, for your flowers. I just want something that's really bright, and it's going to have to be a really fine tip, because those are like super fine flowers. You don't want a big mess going there. And so I am going to just grab out, what have we got here? This is actually lovely lipstick. Maybe I should do something more current. Here's some polished pink. Let's see how you look. I'm going to use, this is one of our Stampin' Right markers, and I'm going to use the fat point of it. And actually that's looking a little too fat. Let's get the finer tip. The finer tip is so fine that it'll like take you forever. So I'm going to sacrifice some of my detail just to get this done a little quicker. I think if I was doing this just for myself though, I'm not being too careful. There are flowers in there and you can discern what they are if you look closely, but I'm kind of like just making some flowers where I want them in this little vine. The little vine actually kind of goes on the step a little bit. So let's take some of this vine and creep it onto the step. I think if I were going to do this again, I might not use my black. I might use like gray granite, or gray might have actually been better. I think it might have been better to have used gray, but that's okay. For my little door, I'm going to use some So Saffron. I can find you here. This is dark So Saffron. Okay, and I'm just putting that on the edge, and then I'm going to use just a little bit of the light So Saffron there. Okay, and then we have got all kinds of really light, nice blending pens now. If you look in your catalog where the flesh tone ones are, like this one's an 800. Let's see how dark this one is. That one's pretty good. So that's probably the one I'm going to color with. So let me find one that's just a little bit darker than that. There's the 700. It's worth the cost to have all of them. They coordinate really nice together, and you're going to want the variety, believe me. Here's the 900. Now that one's pretty light. Probably won't be using that one. What else do we have here? Once we go down below that 700, they start to get kind of dark. There's 500. I know I have a 600. Where are you? I'm just not seeing you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab out my crumb cake since I'm not finding that. This is the light crumb cake, and I'm going to use that. Let's use the bullet side to just outline my little bricks. And the shaded part, I'm going to color that in just a little bit. And you're going to see I'm not being super careful. I'm just kind of, you're blending, these are alcohol blending pens, and they do blend really nice. So you don't have to be super careful here. It's going to be like a watercolor effect when you do it. The lighter color you're going to overcolor with is going to pick up this pen color and kind of smear it around a little bit and make your lighter color darker. And it will lighten up this area too. Okay, so that was crumb cake. And now let's find the 700. Let's try that. That's a little too dark. Let's try our 800. Aha, yeah, that's the one I want. Okay, so we're going to just color over everything except for the door with this. And I'm going right over my flowers a little bit. It's not a big deal. I'm kind of going over everything this way, even on the edge. Okay. And then you can take your, there's a white, and you can get that, but I'm going to just take the lighter one. Where's my 900 that I had out here? That's 800. Where's the 900? Did I put you away? I don't see you. I must have put you away because I'm not seeing you. 7. You got to be here somewhere, but I'm not seeing you. There you are, 900. Okay, so I'm going to take my 900 and just lighten up that edge a little bit where I had it before, kind of dark. Now, I did lose some of my green, so I'm going to come back in here just to get some of that green back in. And I did not color those pots yet because I'm going to now. I'm just going to put some of my green back in that kind of got washed out. And then, let's see, we need bronze. Bronze is the thing that I usually go to for my pots. Bronze is a really good basic color. And I'm just kind of hitting the pots with it because it's kind of dark. Okay, we're going to do the step a little bit there. And if you want any vine for these roses on the side, you can do it there. I'm just doing the door a little, just to give the door a little more oomph. Okay, now with my So Saffron, I am going to go back over that pot. This is the light So Saffron, and it'll kind of spread that color out and around a little bit. And then for the last little bit, you want some blue. So let's grab our Balmy Blue. I'm going to put just a little bit of blue here. And some Pool Party. Oops. Just a little bit of Pool Party. That's good. This is our light Pool Party. I want that to be on my edge, kind of coming up a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little sponge and work that in. Okay, now let me remove, let's get the fence. This is bronze. We're going to get the bottom of our fence. There. Where the fence is the darkest as far as the ink goes, that's where you want to put your pen ink. And if there are lines and it's big enough to do the lines, just do the lines. Okay, and take your 700 or 800 or 900 and fill that in. And we're going to fill in our road the same way. Lines for the track. And let's grab our 800. Okay, like that. And you know, that's just a little bit on the dark side. So I think instead of taking my 900, I'm going to use my light petal pink, and we're going to kind of wash our road out a little bit with our light petal pink. And I'm going to do that down here with my house too, just to wash out that side a little bit. Okay, so that was light petal pink. Doesn't that work nice with those those browns. Okay. Now let me grab my pool party. Pool party, where are you? There you are. All right, so now I'm going to take this little tiny brush and just a tiny bit of our pool party. I don't want a lot. Rub it off there. And we're going to just go in here and kind of just smooth that where I had blended that. We're going to do this. Now, I know you're thinking this is rough. Don't worry. I'm not done. Not done. Okay, so we've got the gist of it. I think that I am wanting to have just maybe a little tiny bit more green up there. I think I'm going to just use my pool party and do that right there like that. Okay? Because it's staying in the color family. If I am afraid if I get some other stuff going there, it just won't. I'm putting this way up because now what you want to do, once you've got all that done, you want to emboss this. Okay, this is where the magic happens. So we have an embossing folder called, what is it called? We used to have one called Scripty, but the one I'm using all the time now is actually called Time Worn. Oh, what is it called? Time Worn something. I know it's here somewhere. I use it a lot, so it's a lot of times hard to find. Okay. So it's called Time Worn Type. I love this one. When they removed Scripty, then we had another one while I was waiting for Time Worn Type. I don't remember, but because this is a long one, you know, we're going to have to do this 2 times. So Time Worn Type has some type on it. I really don't want a lot of words. So I'm going to put my card mostly where there's the texture rather than the words, because I'm going to do it 2 times. So I can kind of position it however I want. It doesn't really matter if the words are upside down because they're not really going to show anyway. So for this first go round, they won't be upside down. But for the second go round, they might. We'll just see what happens here. Okay, so we'll run that through. Now again, with your SaleABration right now, you can get a mini version of this embossing thing if you want to spend just 100 and I don't know, what is it, Trudy? It's 120 something. Or Sylvia. Oh, Sylvia, it's so nice to see you. Thank you for sharing, Sylvia. You are so kind. Okay, so we've got half of it done. And I want the other half. I'd like it to not be upside down, but it's going to be. And I'm just not going to worry about it. Because there's really no other way to do it. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to position it so that my words are not going to show all that much. I'm not going to go up into that area so much. And since you won't see anything where the images are anyway, it's mostly where it's wider that you do not want to see a lot of words. So just kind of manipulate it until you can get it to where you're not going to be seeing that. And run that through. Just partial to where you need it. And check it out. Okay, doesn't that look fabulous once you've done that? I mean, actually, it's just amazing what a little bit of work with the embossing machine, what it can do with these kinds of things. Now, I want it to look just a tiny bit rougher than that. So, what I'm going to do is take my, I'm going to take an old stamp that's called River Rock. And I'm just going to go ahead and use this, but I'm going to use it on this side. Okay, it's a little bit on the green side. and go over my texture part, not the words, just the texture part. And that's going to help kind of blend in my images to the rest here. Okay, sort of blends in where my wall is, so it's just not quite so stark from image to card. Okay, so we've got this. Now we need this thing in the middle to kind of break this up. So what we're going to do, first of all, I am going to go ahead and mount this onto my soft succulent background. Oops, that's my new glue. I've got old and new glue going because this one's like almost out. I go through glue so fast. Incredible. And it gets clogged up fast too, because a lot of times I forget to put the lid back on. I mean, the lid's sort of back on in the container. I got them down so that it stays down and ready to be used. You know, I keep it in this little kind of like flower vase thing, but sometimes I forget that the lid's not actually screwed on in there. And then that tends to dry it out and clog it up really fast. Okay, so we get that on there. And now what we want to do is put a nice little label. And I think we have these stylish dies, and I love these, and I'm afraid they're retiring. Are they going to retire? I hope not, because this is like, I love these. It has the squares and the ovals, or circles, doesn't have ovals. I wish it had ovals, but at least it has these flags. And this is going to go in the middle here perfectly. So I think what we need to do is for our sentiment that's going in the middle, we want it to really stand out. I want it to be on soft succulent. So we're going to go ahead and emboss this with white. I'm going to have to hunt down my embossing powder. Let's use our Best Friends Make the Good Times Better and the Hard Times Easier stamp from this Nested Friends. I'm going to have to go hunt down my powder. I forgot to get that out. So hold on. Grab some white embossing powder. Where are you? Blanco. There you are. Okay. I need some paper. That's going to be harder to find, actually. Aha, I have an ad. That'll be perfect. My King Arthur flower ad will be perfect for putting my powder into. I've got a nice little mess going on the side here. Okay. Some Versamark. I inked you up, so you should be pretty good too. Oh, let's go. Oh, you know what I did? I almost forgot my little embossing buddy. I always forget this guy. So I don't know about you, but there are many times I just think, fine, and turn it over, wipe that away, that image, and get started all over again, because a lot of times I forget this guy, but he's really important, really important. Don't forget him. We actually do have that still. I thought maybe we had not lost it, but had, decided not. Oh, my Best Friends has got an edge here. I'm going to do this again because I don't like that. We're going to do it on this side. And what happened is this edge is just not cooperating with me. So I'm going to trim it off because I want to make sure I get a good impression. And if your stamps ever do that and you end up stamping stuff on the side that you don't want, take your scissors and trim that sucker off. You don't need all of that rubber on there. Okay, here we go. Now we're ready to get a better impression this time. Okay. Put on our powder. Well, actually, I'll leave that open because I'm going to need to... Yeah, looking pretty good. And then we'll heat set that. Put you right back in there. If you've never tried King Arthur flour, you should try it. It's pretty good. We actually have it here local. I used to have to special order it. That's why I'm getting those catalogs. If I'd lived here, if I'd grown up here, I wouldn't have needed the catalog. So we have it all over the place here. And I think we did finally back in Richmond too, just before we moved. They started regularly carrying it. Okay, so you're just going to heat set that. Now I should have probably cut it out, my stamp, cut it out with the die first before I did this, because sometimes when you roll it through, it'll mess up your embossing. Sometimes, you know, it's just one of those things you never know if it's going to or not, because it does just depend on how, for one thing, how long you wait. So let's wait enough time to make sure that has a good chance to set, and then I'll cut that out. We're gonna put a little cute bird on here, so let's stamp our little bird from Nested Friends on this little scrap of white we've got here. Okay, let's do you, little birdie, let's do you with basic gray instead of that black. Ooh, you're pretty dark. Didn't get your edge though. There you go. He looks darker than my black would, I think. That's funny. I don't think I really want him to be that dark. Let's try a lighter version of you. Okay. There we go. That's much better. That's really super dark. If I was going to color him dark, that would be fine, but I want him to be yellow. I think yellow is going to work really well. So we'll do him in yellow. Blue would be cute too, though. I don't know what kind of bird it is even. I'm not really too concerned about what kind it is. Let's look at Balmy Blue. And I'm going to take a little bit of saffron for your belly. So we'll just do them in blue. I did like yellow, but let's see here. A little darker here. And a little bombs of saffron. Oh, you're pretty yellow. I don't really want so much yellow. Let's see, we've got Ivory. Where are you, Ivory? You would work well. Bronze and Ivory are some of my favorites. Now be careful going around his little eye. And then we'll put a little more blue back into him. Just a little bit. Not around his eye too much. All right, and the last little bit we need is his beak. And I've got a marker for that because it's pretty hard to do it otherwise. Okay, so that's all we need for that little guy, and then we'll cut him out. I was down at the park, you know, like, I don't know, it would have been last week. And just sitting there enjoying the view on the bench. My favorite bench was taken, if you can believe it, by the audacity was some lady who got to the park before I did and took my favorite bench by the lake. But I found another really good one pretty close by, and I actually was in the position to be able to see the entire lake and all the path, and it was a beautiful one of the first really nice days of that week, because last week we had a lot of really cold weather, and so I was sitting there just enjoying watching people walking up their dogs up and down the path. Oh man, well, coming towards me on both sides of me, here I am on the bench, both sides of the path coming towards each other were two guys that I swear would have considered themselves to be God's gift to women, because one of them was really young, so we'll excuse him. He had like one of those wife beater type t-shirts on, and he was buff. He was made, he had been working out to just impress the ladies, and he was there at the park to impress the ladies, obviously, because his shirt and his swagger and his he looked to me funny, because he's like young enough to be my son, maybe even getting close to being even almost to the grandson age. So anyhow, I thought, okay, that's interesting, and I'm sure, this park is a botanical garden. It's not like you're going to pick up chicks there, for that age. So I just thought, okay, that's interesting. Well, the same distance from me, that guy was coming on this side. The other guy was on this side, and he was like a 30-year-old, no, that's inexact, maybe a 20-year-old version of the same guy, but he had no shirt on, and he had a pot belly and guy boobs, and I thought, oh my goodness, these two are gonna meet right smack in front of me on this path. This is gonna be real. I was just thinking to myself, this is gonna be really entertaining. I think the young guy's gonna want to beat up the older guy who looks a lot like him. Okay, here's our little bird. He's gonna sit right on here. Isn't he cute? And we need twine, because we want the rustic look to continue here. So we need some twine, and I think I have some soft succulent twine. We have all kinds of twine in the catalog, all kinds. So you are not going to have a hard time finding the color twine you need. I think we've got our in-color twines that are white, and that's fine, but I've got tons and tons of this soft succulent. Well, it's actually not. It's probably mint macaron, I bet, when it came out a long time ago. And I want it really loose and haphazard. So let me take dimensional. We want this to be very casual looking. Let's get these are minis. Where are my big ones? I need the big ones. Okay, so we're going to put a couple of these here. And just use those as my stickers to put my ribbon down. Or not ribbon, but this twine. Okay, we want you to look casual, but you gotta kind of stay on the card too. I want you to go up as well as down. Come on, you can do it. Okay. It always has a mind of its own, so try not to fight it too much. It'll do what it wants to do anyway, so try to work with it. Okay, so we're gonna go like that. I want to end this one up here. I need more of it there, but that's okay. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. We're gonna stick this here. I want some of this down here, like that. Okay, now we can stick some dimensionals on the back of this. Right on the edge, because a lot of that's going to take the middle section. And put you right there and there. And then you can
If you want to trim any off, there's your chance to do that. And then we're going to stick a dimensional on the back of our little bird. I just need one right on his head. And we'll perch him right here on the sign. There you go. And then we are ready to put this on a card base. Okay, so take another piece of white cardstock. And since our card is 4 inches across, we need this to be 8 inches by 8 inches. Okay, so we'll go 8 inches this way by 8 inches. This way, and then we're going to score it at 4 inches. All right, and then I am going to glue you right on here, and we will be done with this one, and I've got one more to do. Oh boy. Anyway, so those guys, they met each other right in the middle, right in front of me. And it was entertaining to watch them approaching each other because they were like deliberately not making eye contact, but they were like right in front of each other. So it's not like they couldn't see each other, but oh man, they were definitely not looking at each other at all. I would have loved to heard what they each were thinking about the other. They both looked ridiculous to me, but anyway, it was entertaining, really entertaining. Okay, glue that on there. It's a little big, so I'm going to have to trim the sides down just a little bit there. Okay, so we get that glued on there really well. And then take my little scissors and trim off that little piece that I cut just a bit too big. And voila, you are all done. And you can stamp your little bird on the inside there. Isn't that cute? All right, so one more. We're going to do one more. This one, I want to cut on Pool Party. We're going to do just a standard size. A standard size card. Let me put away some of my mess. I've got all kinds of stuff here I need to. Let me put away my green ink and throw away, I think that's a scrap of cardstock I want to keep. Okay, let me put away my scoring blade. It always comes out, so I always keep it put away because otherwise I'll lose it for sure. And get my little dimensional bits thrown out. Okay, there we go. Now we're ready to keep going. Oops, I better keep, do I need you? Yes, I do. I need you. So let's keep you out here on the side. All right, so we've got some Pool Party. So what I want to do is take a piece of Pool Party, and we're going to cut this at 5.5. Then we're going to score it at 4.25. And then I'm also going to cut a piece of it. This is going to be my base card here. And then we're going to just cut a piece of it at, well, we've got, let's see, we've got 4.25. I'm going to go at 4 1/8. And then I'm going to trim this. I'm going to trim just 1/8 of this off. And then this is going to sit right on top of this. Make sure it's wide enough, but not too wide. Now we're going to do a little fancy fold on here. Okay, so we're going to take up some gray granite. Okay, and we're going to cut this let's see, I actually want this to be cut. I think it's let's do 2 7/8. Doesn't seem quite wide enough. Let's go 3 inches. Okay, we're going to cut it at 3 inches, and then I want it at 6 inches here. And then we're going to score it at 3 inches. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a little fancy fold. This is going to fold right here like this. Okay, this is going to open up here. We're going to see some stuff. I actually think I might want to trim that just a little. Instead of making it 6 inches, let's do it 5 3/4 inch. Okay, there we go. That's going to work better. It's going to hang a little bit. Going to give me room because I want to have a circular piece here, but I still want to see some stuff on the side. And I want to put a stamp on, I've got a Thinking of You stamp. And where is that? I think that actually is in, what is that Thinking of? I think it's Peaceful Place. Let's see if I can find Peaceful Place fast. Where are you? Peaceful, isn't it Peaceful Place? Isn't that what it's called? Huh. No, actually, that probably would too. Peaceful Place is the one I'm looking for, but I must have it out because I'm not seeing it. Okay, you know what? I'm going to change then what I'm going to do. I'm getting out my old Hope and Prayer. This is one of my old sets that I love. Is this an old set or is this a new one? You guys know, I think I've used this dove this year, so I'm not sure, but I thought this was an old one. Anyway, I thank God every time I think of you is one of my favorite ones. So I'm going to put that sentiment right here. We're going to do that in gray. So I thank God every time I think of you. I'm going to make sure I'm getting it on the right side. I'm going to do it here so I can see what I'm doing. Basic gray. You could do it in black, but I want to make sure it stands out really well. Okay, and then what I want to do is emboss that. The embossing folders are your friends. Now, sneak alert, there's going to be some cool things coming out for you, anyone to purchase in just a couple of weeks. There's a really neat set of 3 embossing folders. They are absolutely wonderful. So I am not going to use one of those because I don't want to make you feel bad because you can't get it yet. And I'm going to actually grab out an old one that we've got. We've got an old cane weave. I love this cane weave. This is a really good one. And I'm going to emboss this like this. I'm going to emboss the side here like this first, and then I'm going to emboss it like this because I don't want any of the embossing where my words are because I want them to show up really well. And if you emboss over it, it's gonna muddy those words, and you know there wasn't really anything I could do about that. So let's go ahead and grab out the machine. We're going to emboss this a couple of times. I could use that time one also, would work really well. I just happen to really like the cane weave. It's one of my favorites. All right, I'm going to run you through like, I better run you through. Let's do this one side first, like this. Oops. The only thing you got to be careful, that's not going to stick out or it'll bend and get really weird. I want it to go all the way up there, like there. Okay. So put that where it's side through, and then I'm going to do this side. Now you want to make sure your fold is still showing, because you got to use that score line still. Right, like this. And you could do the other side too, and that would look even better, I think. Now, I'm going to have to run it through this way. Normally you wouldn't do that, but I'm going to have to because I don't want my card to get all messed up. Normally you run the spine of your embossing folder through, but it works this other way too. Now you can do it here as well. If I am going to do it, I'm going to just want to do the corner like that, because I don't really want another major line here, which is what's going to happen. So what I'm going to do instead, I am going to go ahead and re-emboss. I'm going to get it right where I had it and kind of re-emboss what I just did. Yeah, it's not really working for me. I don't really like that line right there. I might smooth it out. Actually, it's not too bad. Let's try to put you right back where you were. Okay. Right there. Just trying to get that line out. That's kind of bugging me. Aha, much better. Okay, so now we've got that. You can still see it. I almost got into my word a little bit there, but it's not too bad. And I really want to emboss here. What I'm going to have to do that, I don't really want another line down there. I'm going to close my folder like this, and then I am going to go, I'm going to try to get it in like this. Just trying to get that edge right there, just a little bit. It doesn't need to be a lot, just a tiny bit right there. And then I am going to use my, well, actually it's pretty good. I got it a little crooked when I shifted it. If that's driving you nuts, you can always go like this and kind of fix that. You know, it just depends on how much of a perfectionist you are. If you're not too worried about stuff, life's a lot easier, I do have to say, for people who aren't too worried about things. Okay, there. Should do it. Now, we've got a nice little frame around our sentiment. This is what's going to go on as our little fancy fold. Okay? All right, so now what I want to do is take my In the Country stamp set again. We're going to put this aside, and we're going to stamp with gray. I think I'm going to use something softer though than basic gray. That basic gray is like super strong. So I think instead of basic gray, let's get our gray granite. Gray granite is actually the color of this, so I think that might work out better. Okay, let's see, gray granite. Right, want it off the card a little bit. There. That worked out much better. I'm going to leave out my gray granite. I think we're going to use you more. And then what we want to do, I'm not going to use the other In the Country one. I'm going to grab, I kind of forgot I was going to use Scenic Garden. Scenic Garden is a host set, and I hope you have it. Oh, where are you, Scenic Garden? I don't see you where you should be. Let's Scenic Garden. Oh, where are you? SCEN. There you are. Okay, so Scenic Garden. It's a SaleABration host set. So you can only get this host set if you place a host, order. That's going to be $150 or more. But this stamp set is so cute. It's got the flowers that I showed you before that I had already done. This bench is so cute, and the flowers and all that. But I'm going to just use this little gate right now, and we're going to put that on a piece of white cardstock, and then we're going to cut that out with the stitched circle die that's here. Hey Freddie, you are with me today. I am so happy to see you. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I think I'm using not the big giant one, this one. Let's see. It's going to fit on the card like this. And then our little gate is going to go here, kind of concealing some of our wall. So this is the size I want. That other one would be way too big. So good, that'll fit. All right, so we're going to stamp that with our basic granite. And we'll color in the little gate. So if you are a demonstrator already, go ahead and place your order with, as your own customer so that you can get this stamp set unless you already did the special order, the pre-order. During a pre-order, you can always order these stamp sets, the host ones. And sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. I happen to love a lot of these kinds of scenic picture type stamp sets. So I didn't have a gate quite like this. I have a gate, not as friendly a one as this one. This one and the bench on this one's friendlier than my other bench too. As far as coloring goes, you're going to see what I mean. Much friendlier. For instance, right now we are going to want to take our pool party and sponge all around here for the sky. Let me make sure I'm not blending weird colors in here. I think, what did I put on this already? Maybe I should just, to be on the safe side, let me grab another one. So I'm not really sure if I had some soft succulent on there. I might have. I accidentally, have you done this? Took my stamp. I haven't done this since I was a beginning stamper. I couldn't believe I did it. You don't really need in between, your slats of your gate. Just that light sponging will do it. I took my stamp, stamped my sentiment in like green, and then went back into blue without washing it out. I haven't done that in a long time. I was so disgusted with myself. Okay, now I actually kind of wanted, maybe a white gate. So I think we're going to just leave this gate the color that it is. It's going to save us some coloring time too. And then we'll take our Just Jade. Mint macaron would work too. It's just that I'd have to hunt for it. And right now, I don't want to do any hunting. So we're going to use what I have out. Now, if you need lines that are like the stems are very skinny lines, so I am not going to do, I was starting to do it with this pen and realized, no, those are like super, super skinny little lines, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to use my marker for those lines because I don't want to leave them just gray. And I could have stamped with grain, that would have worked, but from my experience, sometimes if you're coloring with darker colors, like this is a somewhat darker color, you might not be all that happy with what you get from that. This is light seafoam. Let's see how you do. You see how that blends that color right in there? It's not as light as I might have liked. If I wanted to brighten it up, I could take a white gel pen and just put the highlight in on each of those bigger leaves. Or you can use yellow, any kind of yellow, soft saffron or daffodil delight, and that'll help kind of grab some of that highlight back into the leaf. or you can just not worry about it. Anyway, so my experience at the park was very entertaining watching those two guys. It was really, really funny. I'm surprised that I'm so easily amused. Here's a joke for you if you're waiting for one. I don't know if you are, but if you are. I used to run a dating service for chickens. Yes, seriously, people, where did they come up with these stupid ideas? But anyway, the problem was I was struggling to make hens meat. Now, you wouldn't make hens meat, for one thing, and you would make, you would want roosters and hens to meet, but you wouldn't want to make hens meat anyway. So that's why that joke is like not super weak. Okay, here's flamingo, flirty flamingo. I'm gonna just do the edges of my little petals with you because I want something kind of bright for the bigger ones, and then I'm gonna get my little marker to do the teeny tiny babies. Okay, that is that, and then I'm gonna just use my soft saffron just to kind of blend that, just because I am wanting to kind of rush along here. It's mainly why I'm using these colors. That ends up kind of being a yellow with kind of almost a peachy orange after you've done that. And then since we're kind of using a peachy orange, I've got a grapefruit grove. This is an oldie. Let's see, let's get the fatter. It's kind of what we ended up with around those edges. And then that way I can kind of put in randomly all of my, there's butterflies there. If I want to, I can just turn that butterfly into a flower if I'm in a rush. Oops, I missed one there. Okay, every time I color these, it's like I come in and see, oh, I thought I colored everything. Look at that. I totally didn't see those leaves there. I think there's a butterfly on that. Okay, we'll turn it into a flower. There's a flower I totally missed. And one there. Okay, there's just always another flower. I've got roses coming, some bare root to be planted, and I called our lawn guy today to tell him to come over and look at my soil and give me an estimate, because I was going to make the bed myself, and the front beds were so much work. I mean, seriously. So the rose thing's going to be real small, and I just thought, why am I making life hard on myself? I can just have the lawn guy come. He will dump a whole load of dirt right where I need it. And then this is petal pink. This is dark. I don't want dark. I need light petal pink. He can dump that when I do. This is 800. I don't need 800. This is what happens when you throw all your pens on the floor. It's hard to find what you want. Okay, light petal pink. Okay, light petal pink, you work almost as well as ivory for me for all kinds of coloring needs. Okay, now if you want the back of your flowers, you know, to not be quite so stark as white in there, you can use your pen to kind of color in there a little. As long as it's this is the light seafoam, so as long as it's something really light. And, you know, I could have colored this gate, but I'm not going to. I'm going to just leave it. If I was going to color it, I'd have to color it gray probably to match my... Okay, now for our wall, we want to use something somewhat dark so that I can see the color in here. This is 700. So we're going to go ahead and just use you. I'd have to come up with something pretty light, though, to tie that all in. Because I don't want to lose all this definition. Okay, so I'm just going over the lines with this 700. And now we want something super light, so I think I'll use my petal pink again. Not dark, light petal pink. Ivory would probably work too if I could find you. It's kind of turning it a blue. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just use it, and then I'll assess what we want to do from there. When you color on cardstock that's already colored, it's always a hit and a miss what you're going to end up really liking. Don't be afraid to experiment. Just do it. You can always just get another piece of cardstock and try again. It's not that big a deal. I definitely don't want anything more green. I think something brown would be nice. Let's do our light crumb cake and see what happens. I'm going to just grab a little edge here and see. That's a little dark. A little bit on the dark. And it's still pretty much pool party even afterwards. When it dries, it's going to just be more pool party. So I think I'm going to just use you on the shaded bits. Kind of even it out a little bit. I'm not going to do too much with it. I don't want this to get to be really super dark, and it will if I keep working it. So we're going to just leave it as is. Watercolors are good. You can't really go away from watercolors, but when you don't have watercolors or you don't feel comfortable using watercolors, these alcohol pens are magical. Can't beat them. They're so easy to work with. I do want something dark around that door. Okay, all right. And then the door, I would like it to kind of stand out a little bit. Let's see how this is going to look. Let's cut out our gate. Okay, I'm going to grab our stylish circle. That's not the biggest one, but the second biggest one. I am running out of time. Let's get going here. Okay, if prisoners could make their own mug shots, they'd be selfies. C-E-L-L-F-I-E-S. I think that one's really funny myself. I'm easily entertained. Okay, so here we go. Put our little circle where the gate is. See all the coloring that you didn't end up needing anyway? That's one reason you don't have to worry too much about things. I love circle dies. They're very forgiving. You can kind of sloppily do it and make it work because it's a circle. They are a lot more forgiving than a square. Okay, so throw that piece away. This is going to go on here like this. And this little gate is going to go on here. So it's going to help open it up. And then you've got room for a nice little sentiment in here. So I thank God every time I think of you. And I am going to make this a birthday card. So I'm going to put my little birthday wishes stamp right in there. Okay, birthday wishes right here, right smack in the middle. With our gray granite. Okay, just like that. Wipe off my stamp. And then also here in this, oh, where's my other? I've lost a stamp. I'll find it later. This is the flowers in that set. I've got it all cut out as a little label, but that won't really work with what we're doing here. So we're gonna leave that. I still do need to color in my leaves. So let's do that. I think they're so tiny. I'm going to get a marker on this one. It's very tiny. What have we got? We have got
Garden green. Ooh, you're going to be a very bright green, I suspect. You could use a pencil. I do think a pencil might look really good here. I'm going to have to use a light hand with this marker. And I've got a vine coming in here that I can almost not see. I'm going to kind of add some of that vine back in there. Okay. Since this is kind of haphazard, you don't have to be, you know, Picasso or anything. Just dot random and you'll be fine. Okay, there we go. That's good. We want that basket to stand out. So here's my SU, SU 800. It's pretty light, but maybe my crumb cake will work. Let's see. It's pretty dark. I've got pots there hiding somewhere. I kind of want this darker, and I want around my little water trough and the door a little darker. And here too. Okay. There we go. All right, and flowers. You still want flowers. Let's stick with the color we've got. So I'm going to keep my grapefruit grove out. Just add some little flowers here and there. Kind of random. Kind of keep it. And you know what? I'm going to turn my door into a grapefruit grove. Okay, and blue. Still want some blue in my little water thing, just a little bit. All right, what are we missing? I don't think I see anything too much there. I think we're done there. So now all I need to do is glue this on here like this. Okay, so we're going to take some glue and glue you on. Boy, you are stubborn, glue. This last bit. There's actually more in there than you would think. I think it's just kind of clogged up. Either that or I just went through a tube of glue like super fast, which is possible. Okay, we want it right in the middle. Put you down. And then that is going to go on top of the base card that you just made. Okay, I need to open a new glue because that is seriously not going to work if we try to use that. So let's do a new. Ooh, doesn't that come out nice? Over there. Come on. This is where I always get glue all over my hands, is with a new bottle of glue. Oh, that would have been upside down. Don't want to do that. Make sure your edges are nice. There, okay. And then you can take a dimensional and put your little gate. Boy, that gate just looks kind of bare there, doesn't it? Let's go ahead with our crumb cake. And let's I'm gonna have to use the bullet side. I'm too sloppy with when I'm in a rush. Okay, there we go. Now we can kind of see our gate a little bit better here. Put
I want a white gate, but it just wasn't working. Okay, like that. So we need dimensionals, like right in the corner. Right in the corner. Get out of there. Like that. And then you can stamp your inside however you want, because I'm not going to keep going, but the final touch, you've got to have a little bit of ribbon. You can't not have a ribbon on some things, you know. And ribbon, actual ribbon, that would be way too fat. So I am going to put just a teeny bit of gold on here. Silver would probably work even better. Let's do a tiny little bow here. All right, have you heard about the new corduroy pillows? They're making headlines. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so I want this bow on here, but how do I want it? I kind of want you here on the side. Could put it in here. Let's do that. Let's stick him right there. So I'm going to grab a piece of a glue dot. This is like a little bit of a fatter glue dot. Pretty fat one. And then I'm rolling it up here to make a nice little fat glue dot. That one's pretty fat, but I kind of need you to stick on there good. That is way too fat. You are not gonna work for me. Let's take a tiny bit of you. If I can get you to work. Okay, there we go. Little glue dot. There we go. All right. And then if you do this with a glue dot, put your clothespin on that and keep it on there for a while until it's hardened itself up nicely to keep this on here. Okay. Snip. And snip. And there we go. Voila. Aren't you cute? All right, so those are our cards today. It's featuring our little nested friends and that that in the country. I really like that set. It's really cute. All right, I am still here. A little warm. It's warm in here today. I think the sun has really made this side of the house really toasty, and it's nice. Actually, I'm not complaining. Okay, I think that's it. Next week, we are all good. I have no idea, though, what I'm going to be doing next week. I've got so many things I want to show you guys. I still have that. I haven't done Nested Friends yet, and I've kind of hinted at it with these cards because I love birds. But, so I still have that one to do. That milkshake set is actually what I'm working on right now. And oh, it's so cute. You have got to find, I didn't even realize that was a Valentine's set, or I would have got it out earlier to do. And I just didn't know. I didn't even catch on that there was a Happy Valentine's Day in that set. So anyhow, I am still going to do that one because that one is so fun. Candy and ice cream, like seriously, these are my favorite things. So anyhow, you have a wonderful President's Day. Remember I should have done some president's jokes. Oh boy, those would have been good today. Probably a good thing I didn't. Let's see if there's one more good joke that I missed. If a pig loses its voice,
Does it become disgruntled? Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. Want to hear a joke about paper? Never mind. It's terrible, as in terrible. Love those. They're so fun. That last one, I got to bring that one back next week for anybody who didn't hear it, because that was pretty good, I thought. All right, have a wonderful day. I will see you next week. Don't forget, you've only got a little bit more of SaleABration. That's for every $50 you order. You get a free item. For every $100 you order, you get a bigger free item or two $50 type free items. There's lots of new things to be had, and some paper and stamps and I don't know, all kinds of stuff. It's all really good, so you don't want to miss it. And then join now for $125, I'm thinking. You get the new little mini cutter and $175 worth of stuff, or for $99 you just get the $175 worth of items, stuff. Lots and lots of stuff, which is a great way to increase your supply of stamps and paper and ink and things that just add up, so to go ahead and do it. It's not something you have to stay with. If you don't want to stay in, you do not have to. There's no penalty. You're not required to buy anything else to get the stamp kit. So just go ahead, get that join kit, join us. We would love to see you. But whether you do or not, I will see you next week. Have a wonderful day. Bye.